So
so out this weekend,
right?
In theaters. I already mentioned Mad Max, mentioned Mad Max,
which we don't have to say anything about it. You're gonna see it if you want to see it.
Yeah, just go check it out. Definitely go check it out. It's really one of the best action movies you will probably ever see. It's mind blowing.
That's what everybody's
and like
saying.
the average shot is like 3 seconds. Like there's so much editing going on. But I mean, just the vision that George Miller had, translating it from his head onto like storyboarding the whole script.
Storyboarding before the script, right?
Well, no, I think the storyboard pretty much was the script.
Okay.
Like Tom Hardy's amount of dialogue probably is about 2 pages worth of a 120-page script. So it's pretty slim.
Nice.
But yeah, it's very cool. And then another big one out this week is Pitch Perfect 2. Yeah, which I've heard pretty good things about.
Well, yeah, it's just kind of
if you're a
more
fan
the
of the
same.
first movie, you're gonna
it's
go
just
check
more
it
the
out.
same.
Really good music again. Funny
Elizabeth
movie. Elizabeth
directed,
Banks is
who was
back
in
in
it,
it
starred
again,
in it
and
for the first
has produced the first 2 now.
Oh yeah.
And directed this one, and and then a couple other smaller ones. Dior and I, a documentary that goes inside the legendary Christian Dior fashion house as new creative director Raf Simons works to mount his first collection.
Okay.
Far from the madding crowd, an independent woman, played by Carey Mulligan, juggles 3 suitors in director Thomas Vinterberg's adaptation of the Thomas Hardy novel.
Okay.
Get, the trial of Vivian Anselm, an Israeli woman, fights to get a divorce in rabbinical court where religion counts more than equality.
Okay.
And then Mad Max and Pitch Perfect 2.
Perfect 2.
Yeah.
Go see it.
Perfect 2. So a couple of big ones to go see. Or support the independent ones at Broadway or the Tower or something like that.
Right.
Just go to the movies, have fun. Okay.
Moving on to our...
Shout out our next 2 of our top 10.
Which is
6 and 5.
Okay.
6 and 5.
So I'm going to go first.
All right.
My number 6 is Wally.
Wally.
The Pixar animated genius.
Geniosity.
The reason why I like this so much is because there's the same kind of thing, almost like there's very little like actual dialogue. It's like when the first half of the movie, there's like none at least for the first half of the movie until they get up onto the ship, right?
Right.
But you still feel for this character. You still feel, and it's a robot. You still feel for the character. You can feel the emotion coming out of him just by his actions, and
and the sound design's amazing.
The music that he picked out. I mean, he basically he kind of started out with this song from what's the song from the show?
Hello Dolly.
That's right. He takes like the songs from that movie and kind of gets an idea from that movie which is the opening song of the movie, and takes it off from there. And this is my favorite Pixar movie of all time. Like this is the best of any of them.
I just told Chris that was one of my, with Up. I think Wally was my. One of my favorites as well. It's just so like the beginning is just astonishing. Like with no dialogue, it's very Chaplin and Keaton-esque, and
you get it.
Very much like the Tramp character, and
pull it all together with just that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. It's incredible. And then I really like. I mean, some people don't like when the human element is introduced to the story.
I understand.
But I really like
it. Kind of needs it.
Well, it does. It does.
To kind of move the story along. I don't think it could be the whole thing on.
Right. I think it's just. I think it was just funny and brilliantly done with the way that we're all fat and just chilling on this cruise ship, like hovering around on chairs. And you got instant drinks coming, and yeah, exactly. Like it's just such a funny satire, and kind of hits the hammer on the head.
Right, which I mean, Wally's one of those characters who he was that robot, just like we become, just going day to day, doing the same thing every day, not doing anything really, sitting around. Where the protagonist is the one robot who has a mind of his own and does his own things and has a conscience and that kind of stuff. And then when they get on the ship, they have all like the misfit characters who end up being the better ones than all the robots who are doing what they're told and all that kind of stuff. It's great and it's funny, and I love that movie. It's a great anime.
Nice pick.
It's like Lasseter, right? John Lasseter directed it. Or did he produce it?
He produced it.
He produced.
Yeah, and he's always very involved in the writing process and making them rewrite it over and over and over again.
I like that he did that.
Up, Wally, I think was.
When you say the name, I'll instantly.
I don't know if it was Pete Docter. Can't remember if it wasn't Finding Nemo. Anyways, brilliant director with Pixar.
Did a good job.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. My number 6 is Jurassic Park.
That's good. The movie that scared you.
The movie that scared the living poop out of me. I think when I was about 13, 12, 13 years old, and terrifying. Funny. But I mean, it's obviously it's a movie that will stick with me forever, and it has, and stuck with my parents too, because I slept on the floor of the bedroom for like 8.5 months after the movie came out.
My daughter watched it. And she was okay.
Yeah, I know. Your daughter was brave, and I was scared of everything.
It's a little different times, but yeah, I mean, I get it though.
But I mean, you know, it delivers so much wonder and awe, and it was such an amazing team up.
The filmmaking of
the CGI from ILM, Industrial Light and Magic,
which is the first. This is like the first step they ever did in making it. And at first, when that first was going to be released, it was supposed to be all stop motion. It was supposed to be a stop motion movie directed by Spielberg. Like that was the plan. And then the guys at the what do you call it?
Industrial Light and Magic.
Right. They came along and said, you need to look at this. And they showed him the image of the Tyrannosaurus Rex at the end. Like, they did all that out before the movie did it. And he was like, we're doing it like this.
Yeah. And then combine that with Stan Winston's amazing life-size animatronics, like combine the two together, which, I mean, there'd been developments, I think, ILM with Terminator 2 and, like, you know, that sort of effect work. So, I mean, just awesome special effects and a fun adventurous family movie. You know, so Spielberg is on my list quite a bit. You know, I keep mentioning his name.
I got one coming up later.
Just a wonderful director. And, so that's my number 6.
Nice.
Yeah,
it's a good pick. I like it. So my number 5 is by one of my favorite directors, Wes Anderson. And my favorite movie that he did was Life Aquatic.
Life Aquatic.
So I think this is the first Wes Anderson movie I was introduced to way back in the day. Like right after it came out, I think I watched this. It was either this or The Tenenbaums. Okay. Anyway, so I watched this and it hit me. I don't know why. Like, it makes me so emotional when I watch this movie. But like,
you big baby.
Bill Murray as like this, you know, character who basically goes on this trip to avenge the death of his friend who was eaten by this jaguar shark. You know, and then insanity ensues. And his Wes Anderson's production design is always over the top and so amazing and emotional in itself. Like, when you watch it, you kind of feel that you're totally like transformed into this totally different world. And you know, with this ship that they created, it's like they got a ship, cut it in half, and so you can see all the different parts, and they'll like have long takes of them walking through with dialogue, you know, all through the whole ship and through the spa, and then, you know, with where they record the sound for like this documentary that they're shooting, which is what the movie's about,
right?
On their travels, you know, and
it's this awesome cross sections that he does of his sets. It's fantastic.
Right, and you know, so he's cutting through and on the ship, and it's funny. It's like that dark humor that he does all the time, and it's like emotional, and it has to do with him and this you know, and Owen Wilson, who's supposedly his son, that he's trying to kind of you know, become a father, because he's not really much of anything. He's kind of like just. It's selfish. It's great. Right? Yeah, selfish person with, you know.
I'm glad you put that one on there. Most people would have put Royal Tenenbaums.
Right. I've seen that. So it's a little.
Like, that's a great one.
It's a bit depressing. But too depressing for me. But and I think Royal Tenenbaums is kind of like the go-to Wes Anderson. But this one, I think I love this one.
Nice choice.
More than anything else.
Awesome.
It was a good one.
My number 5 is Annie Hall.
Oh, okay.
By Woody Allen. It's just it's an amazing blend of comedy, and it was one of his first sort of stabs at like more serious stuff as well. So
yeah, well, it was kind of based on
you mentioned emotion,
his life, though, right? Like with his relationship with
with his relationship with women, and I think you know, as a kid, I think there was definitely some biographical stuff in there.
Right.
I mean, and just the amazingly talented Diane Keaton, who won an Academy Award as Annie Hall, and it's just I mean, just movies aren't written like this anymore. It's a clever movie that adults can watch with kids, and adults get a lot more humor out of it.
Right.
You know, there's a lot more kind of under the surface that kids might not necessarily get.
Right, and these are kind of movies that, like, because I the first time I watched this was in film class. So when I first watched it, and it's definitely, I think that's kind of, I don't know, because he does like a movie every year. Yeah. So he's done so many movies, and so I think this one is kind of up there with like his top movies he's ever done, and it needs to be watched, and not just in film
it's
class.
A popular one that I think a lot of people have included in their top 10s, but I think, I mean, for me, you mentioned, you know, the emotion of Life Aquatic. Like, I think, I don't know, like, there's just something emotional about Annie Hall that hits me, and
I think
and the humor and like the sweetness, and it's not your traditional like Hollywood ending.
No.
And then the editing, I think they first tried it in test screenings, is just like straight through from more of a beginning standpoint of he meets Annie Hall right away.
The whole relationship.
Yeah, the whole relationship is, and the finished product, it was all spliced up, and it just really shows like what editing can do for a movie and the story, and transform it into.
That's why they have
an Oscar.
A category, right? They have a category for editing, because it can transform a movie. It can make it better, or it could totally destroy it.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Sweet.
I like it.
All right. Well, we finished the first 5.
Yes.
Of our top 10.
5. Which I was thinking about it. If we did this list again, mine would be different. My top 10 would be different than what I picked.
That's phenomenal.
Because I always end up.
There's so many movies.
Right. Because I always end up watching movies I haven't seen, and it's like, this would be in my top 10.
That's awesome.
All right. Well, thanks for watching, and then don't forget to like the video, subscribe to our channel, and like us on Facebook.
Yes.
And let us know what you want us to talk about, or what you think of the show.
Yeah. Hey, Steve, guess who I am? I'm Snake Plissken.